Aloha, this is Reverend Tim Lytle from Unity Church of Hawaii here in Honolulu, Hawaii. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us. We have wonderful services and videos and messages. We're so grateful to stand with you in faith so that you manifest the highest and best in your life, because we know where you are, God is. All of God is fully present there. So enjoy our services, enjoy the message, and thank you for joining us. Today we're looking at Lent. Let's eliminate negative thinking. Let's say that together. Let's eliminate negative thinking. In some churches, they talk about what to give up for Lent. I don't know if you've ever been a part of a tradition where they talk about what to give up. Sometimes they give up something they eat, like chocolate, or maybe they give up some particular type of activity or something like that, as a way to help them to have a closer connection with God, okay? Giving up chocolate might help, I don't know. But I think in Unity, I've been asked, well, do people in Unity believe in Lent? Do they practice Lent? And I say, oh, yes. And we go to the core of it, go to the core of shifting our thinking, shifting what it is that we're nurturing and what it is we're giving attention to. Because that which we give attention to flourishes. So another way to put it is that which I resist persists. So if you're resisting something or giving energy, fighting against something, that tends to give it even more energy, right? So like in Wichita, Kansas, where I came from, where the weather changes every 5 minutes, cold air and warm, moist air, when they come together in two strong systems, create this vortex called a tornado. And so it's like that resistance against each other is what creates the vortex. How do we break this cycle of negative thinking? And what do I mean by negative thinking? I'm talking about thinking where we feel separate. Actually, I could call it separation thinking. Separate from God, separate from our source. Whenever I feel separate from God, it's then that I begin to feel fearful. It's then that I begin to experience a sense of lack. It's then that it looks as if someone or something is against me. Now, the first principle in Unity teaching is that there's only one presence and one power, active as our lives and as the universe, God the good omnipotence. Now, because that's true, the second principle then is that means every single one of us are the divine presence showing itself up as us. We are that self-livingness of the presence. And from that then comes the third principle, which is that thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. That is, the things that I nurture within myself, the thoughts, the feelings, those things that I'm holding on to and nurturing each day will have more and more life and experience in my life. So, if you are upset about something, do you want to continue to talk about it and give it more and more life? Or would you like to shift that? Would you like to shift out of that negative thinking? Jesus said, "Be it done to you according to your belief." And when different people came to Jesus to be healed, what he would say to them is, "Your faith has healed you." Your faith has healed you. He emphasized the power of our belief, the power of our faith, that we are the ones that can shift and change our lives by what we give focus to. About 2 years ago or so, Olga Lucia and I were looking for a car, and I did research. That's what I do. I did research, and I wanted to see the safety tests. I wanted to see the performance tests. I wanted to see this and see that. Various things that I was looking for. And so, I had noticed occasionally on the road something called a Toyota 4Runner. I just noticed them occasionally. And that ended up being the car that we bought. But it was like magic. After we bought the Toyota 4Runner, it was like the streets were filled with them. And I've noticed that even here in Hawaii with our teeny tiny parking spots. I see all these Toyota 4Runners running around all over the place. Well, now did I magically create Toyota 4Runners suddenly? Because John's saying yes. By the power of my intention, by the power of my thought, my connection with that, did I suddenly manifest them? Well, what happened is that in my focus, I then began to see more of it and experience more of it in my life. They were always there, but I began to experience more of it. What do you want to experience more of in your life? Love? Joy? Peace? Hugs? Opulence? What else? Happiness? Harmony? Wellness? Balance? Connection? Enlightenment? So, are you holding the thoughts, holding the vision, holding and nurturing those feelings that will help you to experience more and more of that? It's hard to experience more and more peace when our primary focus is disharmony and dis-ease, right? So we need to shift our thinking, shift our words. You don't have to become legalistic about it, but look at the words that you use. Because the words that we use take on a life. As I was instructing the prayer chaplains in the weekend workshop, I was using from Ernest Holmes, who wrote Science of Mind, and great, brilliant spiritual luminary in our world. Ernest Holmes said, in advising those doing prayer work or prayer treatment, use the words that help you to believe the words you're using. Use the words that help you to believe the words you're using. In other words, use the words that help you to know, to have the consciousness, you as the prayer chaplain, to have the consciousness of the truth with this person with whom you're praying. So when I'm praying, I'm using words that help my own consciousness. And when I begin to know it, it resonates like two tuning forks that begin to resonate together, knowing the truth together, because what we're doing is allowing the truth, taking away error. So Lent is a great time leading up to Easter of eliminating those things that get in our way of really knowing that oneness, really knowing that connection with the divine. We gently allow it to sweep away. We focus on God, and I'll tell you something, I'm here for God alone. Now, that doesn't mean I rule all of you folks out, because when I see you, I see the divine looking back at me. But I'm here for God alone. I'm here to serve God. And in the final analysis, I only answer to God. There are others here who supervise my work here, and I understand that, and I'm grateful for this this evaluation. 7's the perfect number, right? Does this have a... Anyway. I want you to feel free to evaluate however you want, because it'll be an opportunity for me to grow and to learn, and, so we can see how I'm doing. But in the final analysis, I'm only here for God. Because in the final analysis, that's all there is. And you are only here for God. You are here to do something amazing with your life. You're here to do something that shifts this world because you are the presence of God, the self-livingness of God, living itself, expressing itself in a unique and beautiful way as you. It's amazing. Each and every one of you here are a miracle. Each and every one of you here are the presence of God looking back upon me. And so as I look at you, it's like I need sunglasses, not just because of the bright lights, but because you are the bright lights. And Jesus meant that when he saw that truth in others. And this was earlier in his ministry, at least according to the way it's recorded in the Christian scriptures, when he said, you are the light of the world. Now, he wasn't referring to just the ones who really believed or the ones who had taken enough classes or whatever. He said, you are the light of the world. That is the truth of it. And we need to remove and eliminate anything that stands in the way of us knowing that. We are here to reveal the truth that we are. We are here to reveal the Christ, the God presence that we are. When I was with my brother in Wichita, he hadn't been smiling much, hadn't been laughing or smiling much. And my mom said to me, I hope that now that you come, I hope he smiles. One of the roles I played in the family was to sometimes get people to laugh. Sometimes I was the family clown. And so when I went to see my brother, he was quite sad, quite discouraged. But it wasn't long before we were laughing together and he was brightening up and he was opening up. Because why do we want to just live in this mode of thinking that all these bad things are happening to us rather than being grateful for all the good things that are happening? And it was so wonderful and transformative to hear him state what he's thankful for. That he's thankful for life. That he's thankful for his family. That he's thankful that there are some things working with his body. Why not bless and give gratitude for those things that are going well? Why not focus on that so that we experience more and more of that? So that no matter where we go, we're seeing more and more of the beauty, the life, the abundance, the peace that God is. Why not live that way? And that's what we propose here in Unity. It's revolutionary. It's countercultural. Because in our culture, people like to think negative and they like to form clubs to think negative along with them. We are proposing something very countercultural. We are proposing that we really focus on the one presence, the one power that we are. Because that is the truth of it. And let's say this again together. Let's eliminate negative thinking. God bless you. Thank you.